boxing against the background of fighters hailing from the world's most passionate boxing
Canelo or Chavez?
Canelo or Chavez? Canelo.
Okay.
Canelo or Chavez? Canelo, boss. Pásale. Guys, this is Cristal. Hey, Gucci. KK. Hakeem. Kiki. It's Kiki there.
Nice to meet you.
And Coco there. Hey, it's Coco. It's a good Coco.
شنو؟
Coco.
قد ما حط على القطع؟
Coco chocolate.
انا كنت مصيب مع كانيلو.
Hey guys, it's bad guys.
What's up,
Gucci, Hakeem, my brother Hyder, you know
Hyder. This is not Hyder, this is Garab. Too much.
It's Coco.
No, he already said hi. Oh my god.
No.
Yeah.
He had.
Not from US. I'm from Iraq.
He almost made it to
Tú
Iraq.
comprende los españoles.
Hey, come on, take a shot this one. No, you gotta drink that one.
You drink too?
And it's the story behind the story more anticipated than ever before. You see the 5-year age Canelo, but how much of an advantage is it? They've had almost exactly the same number of fights, and Canelo has been fighting professionally for 11 years, ever since he was 15 years old. You see the 4-inch height advantage for Chavez, but astonishingly, despite the fact that he's 4 inches taller, his arms measure out to exactly the same length as Canelo's, 23 inches from the armpit to the end of the pit. You see the weigh-in weights, 164, and that's two different worlds, because Canelo Alvarez has never weighed in higher than 155, and Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in several recent fights had trouble getting to 168. So now they meet in the middle. The larger man with the shorter arms against the smaller man with possibly the bigger punch. Here comes Julio. His father, much more than a boxing star in Mexico, their ultimate cultural icon. But yet some Mexican fans who adored his father have never embraced Julio Jr. because they don't see in him the same personality.
Nor the same resume, Jim. Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., one of the greatest fighters of all time. And Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. has been a good fighter, inconsistent, and hasn't always maximized his potential or optimized his ability. Tonight, all accounts, he appears to be, and to our eyes, he appears to be in shape for the best showing of his life. Well, tonight he reaches for the greatness that eluded him in the Sergio Martinez fight, where he very nearly scored a monster upset with a dramatic late rounds knockdown.
And there you see the calm self-possession of Canelo Alvarez as he watches what's going on in the ring, on the monitor in his dressing room, and takes his own sweet time before determining that the moment will be right for him to come to the ring. Behind him, Eddie Reynoso on the right side of the screen, Chepo Reynoso on the left side of the screen, the two trainers who have been with him from the very beginning, and now here they come. The crowd looking for the characteristic red hair. As the man nicknamed Cinnamon steps out of the dressing room. You're cheering already, watching the monitors. Off the screen. Boy, he's utterly unflappable. Regardless of what goes on around him, nothing changes the expression on that face.
Nothing at all, Jimmy. He's got the baby face assassin, you know. He keeps the same attitude no matter what's going on, no matter how rough the fight gets, he stays the same.
All business. All the time. Now Chavez is dancing and shadowboxing in the ring, keeping himself warm as Alvarez makes a slow walk out of the dressing room and shortly now into the arena area.
Canelo!
Yesterday, in some of the sport books in Vegas, the odds favoring Alvarez were as high as 12-1. I have been informed that right now,
I can move.
at
I'm
one of the
recording.
larger
Stop!
sport books in the neighborhood very close to this arena, those odds have been bet all the way down to 3-1. That's how much Julio Cesar Chavez has affected public perception of the fight by making weight at 164 pounds.
I think the initial odds reflected the fact that Alvarez has proven to be a better quality fighter than Chavez throughout their careers. The thought being if Chavez trains seriously and gives himself the best chance to win, then his size advantage can become significant. I think once everyone saw that, the odds narrowed.
Could those odds also reflect that Mexican fans arrived here within the last 24 hours and bet their hearts for the name with which they most identify? Chavez.
Probably.
Let's go to Michael Buffer to begin the introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the T-Mobile Arena by way of the MGM Grand of Las Vegas, Nevada, USA, Oscar de la Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions, in association with TVG Promotions, is proud to present the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing in the super middleweight division. Catchweight limit of 164.5 pounds. And it's all sponsored by Tecate, Bond, Bold, Hennessy, Never Stop, Never Settle. O'Reilly Auto Parts, better prices every day. Adriana's Insurance, the high-risk driver's choice. Interjet, Aerolino Visual del Box, the smart way to fly. And the motion picture King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, in theaters everywhere May 12th. This contest sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, Chairman Anthony Monell III, Executive Director Bob Bennett. The three judges at ringside, Adelaide Bird, Glenn Feldman, and Dave Moretti. And inside the ring, in charge of the action at the bell, your referee, Kenny Bayless. Y ahora, damas y caballeros, los funcionarios están listos. Los luchadores están listos. Damas y caballeros, están todos listos. For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world and wish they could be here. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
How you know? How you know? How you know?
Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, with his trainer Nacho Beristain.
Maybe you should put more air on there.
He's wearing white and weighed in officially at 164 pounds. His professional record, 50 victories, including 32 wins by knockout with 2 defeats and 1 draw. Presenting the former middleweight champion of the world, damas y caballeros, el ex campeón del mundo, Eliseo Guerrero, luchando de Culiacán, Sinaloa, México, Julio César Chavez Jr.
What did he win? Yeah.
Fighting out of the red corner is his trainer, wearing blue and gold and weighing in officially at 164 pounds. His professional record, 48 victories, including 34 wins by knockout, with 1 defeat and 1 draw. He's a 3-time world champion, former middleweight champion of the world, and current 2-time light middleweight world champion. Damas y caballeros, es la máquina de lucha legendaria de Guadalajara, Jalisco, México. Saúl Canelo.
To keep this fight clean at all times, protect yourself at all times, and what I say you must obey. Good luck, Bruno Suerte.
From the Battle of the Z-Boys, Zarate and Zamora, to the Barrera Morales trilogy and so many others, the all-Mexican showdowns, the great ones in boxing history, have all featured fighters who have proven they belong. Chavez Jr. has not yet done that. He's going to have to reach for greatness tonight to prove it. Canelo Alvarez has proven he belongs. He's got to prove again. And Chavez is the best version of himself.
Barrera and Morales thrilled the fans 3 times. Will this be the first meeting between Canelo and Chavez, or the only meeting between Canelo and Chavez? The nature of the combat will probably determine that. Chavez Canelo throwing early, getting a right hand to the body of Chavez.
So far, Chavez boxing in the middle of the ring, as Nacho Beristain said, would be the strategy early. I don't know if that's the wisest thing for him, Roy.
I don't think this is a boxing in the middle of the ring match. He's kind of circling, but he's not really giving up a lot of ground. He's not going backwards, he's going around, circling, as opposed to going back.
Canelo landed a solid jab. He's throwing hard shots. Chavez got in an uppercut.
Hard hook to the body from Chavez.
That's what you want to see.
You would think for Chavez to really impose himself in this fight, you have to pull Canelo and use his size and weight.
Canelo threw his own left hook to the body moments ago and landed it. Now right hand across the top. Canelo's conventional weaponry scoring early against Julio Cesar Chavez.
Now Canelo is sharp. He's dialed in, throwing a good jab. Not often you see the shorter guy out-jab the taller guy. But right now he's doing a good job of out-jabbing Chavez Jr.
Hard to imagine Chavez winning a boxing skills match in the middle of the ring against Canelo, the sharper, more active, more accurate fighter.
Canelo seems to be making that statement right now. You can't box with me.
Good jab by Canelo.
So quick. Delivers it snappily. Economical motion. Nothing's wasted. Right hand over the top for Canelo. He's gotten off to a very good start in the fight.
Well, we expected this, Jim.
Chavez is a pressure fighter. Sometimes they take a couple rounds to really get going.
He's got to make sure he's not caught by nothing big that sends him to the floor early. That's the danger of fighting a guy as sharp as Canelo is.
Interesting there when they came together, Canelo used his leverage as a shorter fighter to push Chavez back.
3 minutes have gone by pretty fast. And so far, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. has landed some punches, but nothing really significant. Canelo established his pattern.
Relax, break.
Hey.
That first one is done, son. He's very slow. Very slow. He's very slow. When he wants to counter you, just leave him short. He's not going to catch you. Then when you're in short, you counter punch him, okay?
No te vayas con la de frente. Páralo por allá. Páralo por allá. No esperes el golpe.
Stop him off the jab.
Neither fighter sat down on a stool during that entire minute. What do you make out of that, Roy?
Well, they both showing that they're in great condition. Both guys came in with that plan in mind, and they're both operating to that degree.
Canelo landed 13 punches in the first round. Chavez landed only 4 by CompuBox count. Canelo pretty much doubled Chavez in punches thrown, 31 to 16. It was a slow-paced first round. Let's see if it speeds up in round number 2.
So far, Chavez staying true to what Nacho Beristain, his trainer, his new trainer, said in the lead-up to the fight, that he wants him at a distance early. I don't know if that's wisest strategy, Roy. Canelo likes his opponent to come to him, so that's playing into his hands as Chavez does, but just because the guy's a fastball hitter doesn't mean if you're a fastball pitcher, you shouldn't throw it.
Well, this looks a lot like the early stages of Sergio Martinez against Julio Cesar Chavez. It's a rout in Canelo's favor. But you know what happened in that fight, where Chavez hung around long enough to suddenly make a statement in rounds 11 and 12 and almost knocked Martinez out. So you can never completely count him out of the fight, but Canelo is having his way in the first 2 rounds so far.
Chavez, of course, has done his best work when he's thrown the hook to the body.
And we know Canelo is going to start early and be the sharper guy early because he's been more active as of late, so we expected him to come out and have the advantage early.
Left hook lands for Chavez.
That's true, Roy.
Straight right hand for Chavez. Now he gets Canelo to the rope.
And here is Chavez's fight.
And here he goes to work.
Canelo also feels very comfortable countering in that position, but that's where Chavez does his best work.
3-punch combination for Canelo and another good uppercut with the left hand as he steps inside.
Good right uppercut by Canelo. Canelo doing a good job of landing those uppercuts when Chavez comes in with that head.
Chavez is walking right into those uppercuts.
Yes, he is.
And another couple of uppercuts for Canelo, followed by the jab. Chavez seems utterly confused when he stands in the center of the ring and tries to box with Canelo. He's got to get him to the ropes.
Got to move that head left and right. He can't leave it right there down the middle so that Canelo can hit him with those uppercuts.
Chavez shows no inclination to do something to stop Canelo from landing his jab. Canelo's just stepping forward and popping with jabs and uppercuts and landing a lot of shots.
Canelo's getting very confident now.
Against Canelo controlling the middle of the ring and forcing Chavez along the perimeter. Certainly not a winning strategy for Chavez, you wouldn't think.
He's got to try to put Canelo's back against the ropes. What he was ultimately able to do against Martinez, and he landed his power shots then. Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. here in Las Vegas. Vegas, where he won many great victories over the years. With a look of concern on his face, as his son has almost certainly lost the first 2 rounds to Canelo Alvarez.
Don't get hit, though. All right. You can't just stand there. You got to be more in the middle. Yes, more in the middle. You got he's catching you off on the inside, in the middle. Okay, get your distance. You got to change up the punches. Very careful with this one, so you got to change it this way or that way. Flex your waist.
There's a face very close to the center of the subject. Gennady Golovkin is at ringside with his trainer Abel Sanchez. There had been some smoke about the idea that Gennady would not be here, but Golovkin is at ringside with Abel Sanchez, hoping, obviously, if Canelo wins the fight, that he'll be next.
Yeah, Canelo inflicted a lot of pain on Chavez that second round, mainly those uppercuts, also followed up by some good body shots.
Through the first 2 rounds, Canelo landed 22 power shots, 11 of them to the body of Chavez.
Canelo wants his opponent to come at him so he can use his combinations to counter, but that's also Chavez's best chance. That's why the matchup on paper was so good, because their strengths play into each other. Chavez is not a very sharp boxer, but he's a good, strong inside brawler, especially for a tall guy, and that's where his fight should be.
Most ringside experts shook their heads in amusement, reading quotes from Chavez's camp, and particularly from trainer Nacho Beristain, saying that he should stand up on his feet, box from the perimeter, use his length and height, and try to win a boxing match against Canelo. Most boxing experts thought either that is smoke, it couldn't possibly be true, or it's foolish. In the first couple of rounds, he seems to be trying to execute that plan, and it is a one-way path to oblivion.
And right now it seems almost foolish.
Well, and then the thought was also that once he gets his bell rung, Chavez will go back to what he does, which is brawling, and he just got his bell rung. Let's see what happens.
Alvarez blocking punches with his gloves and then firing back, having everything his way. Midway through round 3.
Chavez blocking punches with his face and his body. Chavez's right eye.
Just welted. No blood yet, but there's a welt, and a black guy starting to form.
Hard right hand, stricken by Canelo Alvarez. He never overloads a punch, Roy. He's content to land at his pace.
Very efficient, Joe. Blood at the nose now, Max.
There's been no turning point.
And now we got to fight.
Chavez gets in a couple of hard shots. Ending back Canelo's back to the ropes. And Canelo fights his way off the ropes with hard shots. And goes down to the liver with a mean left hook.
As Chavez already given up his best chance to win, which is to jump on Canelo early and let him feel the size difference. Instead, he's allowed Canelo's imposed himself on his boxing skills.
He punching his sharp, it's not really much size difference involved.
A great first 3 rounds for Canelo Alvarez in the battle for the heart and soul of Mexico.
Breathe. What are you feeling? How are you feeling? Good? You started touching him more, right? Now you took a right that you had no reason taking. You're staying there and he's going to catch you with that. I don't want him to touch you with one single right. Work in the middle of the ring. Work the middle ring, dude. Get on tight a little bit more now. For power. And flex your legs.
Mas golpes. That's the order of the day in Chavez's corner. Throw more punches. And still, to this point, Canelo Alvarez has not yet sat down between rounds. He's still standing in his corner. Chavez is sitting on a stool now. Harold Letterman, how'd you score the first 3 rounds?
Okay, Jim, I got a 3-0, 30-27, Canelo Alvarez. I gotta tell you, Jim, this kid is a pretty boxer. Look at this. Hooks, jabs, he doubles punches, he triples punches. Yeah, and he's interacting, he's backing him up constantly. He's got him bleeding from the nose, got him bleeding from the eyes, hitting him with uppercuts. What else can he do? He's fighting a very good fight. 3-0 for Canelo Alvarez.
Look, no one thought that Chavez was on Alvarez's level, but his size advantage was supposed to make it competitive. And if he's not going to use his size advantage on the inside, it will not be a competitive fight. It has not been so far.
I'm wondering if it was a good idea to make work. I'm wondering if it might not have been a better idea to pay a couple of $1 million to come in over 166. At least he might have disturbed some of Canelo's sleep. Uppercut. After the left hook to the body. Chavez is putting punches together beautifully. Hard right hand upstairs. Harold Letterman described it so well. Punishing him from moment to moment. It's been a one-sided fight so far.
Total mismatch so far. This is thus far not one of the great all-Mexican fights, but it's maybe one of the great all-Mexican beatdowns.
Good body shot.
Yeah, that really hurts
The opposition, you have to call it a great performance by Canelo, who is thoroughly under control and doing everything he wants to do.
And really hurt Chavez, I think, with a left hook to the body about 20 seconds ago.
What a crowd. This crowd is making about as much noise inside this arena as 90,000 people made at Wembley Stadium last week in London.
90,000?
Canelo, you look on his face right now and see, boy, he doesn't respect Chavez. He doesn't respect Chavez at anything.
There's total confidence.
And Chavez has given him no reason to respect him. His game plan has not given himself the best chance to win.
Canelo's mom, Alvarez, seated at ringside, long way from Guadalajara, but enjoying every single minute. Only 4 rounds in, it already feels like Chavez is 8 rounds behind.
No excess of confidence. You gotta work little by little. It's 12 rounds, okay? Now start changing up those combinations. You caught him a good time. Up top, gotta work for the body. Fake him, fake him. Put it, you gotta work him with the left and then receive him with the right.
Through the first 4 rounds, Chavez is averaging 21 punches thrown per round. Canelo is averaging 21 punches landed per round. Again, as Max Kellerman said, it's a mismatch.
And again, Chavez starts by circling on the outside of the ring.
Target practice.
Canelo doing whatever he wants.
Boy, is it fair to say Canelo's sparring sessions may have been more taxing than this?
No, I don't think they are more taxing because you don't have an audience in the sparring sessions. But I mean, they could have been more difficult, but this crowd takes a lot out of you. People don't understand that. That's why some guys can perform in the gym. That's why you have things such as gym parties, get that hand behind it. But when you have a crowd performance right now, these crowds drains you. So no way that sparring is more taxing than this.
There's something else. Canelo claims that there's no extra animosity against Chavez. Just more intensity maybe because of the Mexican rivalry, but Chavez has said that he doesn't think that Canelo has best represented Mexican boxing, and the look on Canelo's face here, guys, looks to me like he's really enjoying handing out this punishment.
He's really putting a bang on Chavez right now.
And here, Chavez has an opportunity. Canelo is near the ropes. Pull him back to the ropes and throw punches. It's his only chance.
He seems to have bought into the notion that he can box with Canelo, and nothing could be further from the truth. Less than a minute to go in round number 5. Nothing has changed. It's been a punishing first 2 minutes of the round for Chavez Jr.
The prime of his career, Canelo has been in with not just the mega fights with Mayweather and Cotto, but tough fights against contenders you ordinarily wouldn't want to fight on your way up. Austin Trout, Eris Landy, Lara. Canelo stayed busy. He's treated his career very seriously, and you're seeing that here tonight.
This is only the second fight for Chavez since July 15th. And there is Amalia Carrasco, Chavez Jr.'s mother, and she's been to a boxing match or 3 or 4 in her life. She knows what she's watching, and the expression told you everything.
You gotta throw punches, Julio. You gotta let go. You gotta move around. You get the closest round. You gotta throw more punches. Get in with it.
Here you see Canelo's triple jab coming with a beautiful counter right hand on the top. Couldn't add for a better counter there. Now the eyeball, maybe it had it been a little lower, it could have caused even more damage. That is the beautiful counter right here, right on the cheekbone. Doesn't get any better than that.
Round 5, Chavez landing an average of 5 out of 19.
Hey, what's wrong with you, man? Leave me alone.
In previous 8 fights, the average was 16 out of 30. Those opponents were not. Canelo Alvarez, you see the number for total punches landed at the bottom of the screen. Whether Canelo had an intention to come in here and embarrass Chavez Jr. or not, that's what's happening so far.
Although Chavez had those late rounds near heroics against Sergio Martinez, by power shots throughout by an aggressive fighter. He was the one chasing Martinez around.
And I don't think Martinez was as heavy a puncher as Canelo Alvarez.
The thing that you see in the beginning of every round tells you the whole story before the round starts, the posture. When Chavez backs up and circles, it means he's conceding already.
Just learned that between rounds, Kenny Bayless visited the corner of Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. and told Chavez and Nacho Vera, saying, quote, "You've got to show me something." In other words, Bayless is already of the mind that he's not going to let this continue indefinitely the way it's going right now.
Even right there, Chavez throws a 1-2, and he waits and looks and doesn't follow, doesn't attempt to impose his strength. And by the way, guys, maybe he's not physically stronger. Canelo has the leverage of the shorter man and looks very strong in there.
Well, Nacho Beristain urgently pleaded with Chavez Jr. between rounds to throw more punches, but he isn't doing it.
The only thing you don't like, I didn't like what I saw in between rounds, Jim, was that you never heard Chavez say anything back.
And he looked very discouraged.
And I hate when I don't hear my fighters talk back to me. I always ask them right away, How do you feel?
Here's where Chavez needs to be. And he cannot allow Canelo's sharp counters, which are sure to come, to discourage him. He must stay right there. Not do what he just did and take those 2 steps back.
It looks as though Canelo, the counterpuncher, has invited Chavez into this position, hoping that he's going to throw some shots and give him a chance to fire back to the counter that would hurt.
That's okay. It may hasten Chavez's demise. It may lead to a knockout earlier than it would otherwise come. But it also gives Chavez his only chance to win.
Only chance.
Chavez begins to loosen up and throw a little bit. Left and right to the body, both of them partially blocked by Canelo's elbow.
It shows you Chavez's mentality. Immediately takes 3 steps back and it's in the middle of the ring again.
Can't do it.
This has become a showcase of Canelo Alvarez's outstanding skill set.
It's the same mistake we saw Canelo make against Floyd Mayweather. He went out and tried to box the boxers. You can't do that.
You lost this one. You gotta throw jabs. Cover yourself, you gotta throw more punches. What? Trying to do whatever you wanted. But that's it, you're letting it build too much. You've gotta fight him now. This is your round. Let's go, Julio. This is yours. You gotta stop him now. You gotta fight now. Don't let him build. Let's go.
Does Julio Cesar Chavez have the desire to respond to Nacho Berestein's instructions? Harold, how do you have it halfway through?
Okay, so now it's 6-0, 60-54, Canelo Alvarez. Not only is he beating the heck out of the guy, I mean, he throws combinations, he throws hard jabs, it's just unbelievable. What gets me about Chavez is why in heaven's name doesn't somebody tell him to go forward? I mean, he just backs up and backs up and backs up and gets beat up. I mean, you think if he went forward, he might be able to hurt Canelo. But he's not. He just keeps backing up, and backing up. 6-0, Canelo Alvarez.
Guys, the last significant fight that Chavez had was against Fonfara, where he was knocked out in 9 rounds. That was in a heavier weight division. So the thought was the size difference will make up for the skills difference. But if Chavez won't even try to oppose the size, he's doing a little bit here now. It's a mismatch, and it was one going in.
It's one of the closest things we've seen for a Chavez rally, and you saw how Canelo responded to it. 2 4-punch combinations in a row that drove Chavez back into the center of the ring.
And the problem is Chavez needs to come right back off of those rallies and come back with a rally of his own. But he's not. That means he's not even trying to compete when he's not doing that. You have to compete. So you gotta answer those type of punches back right there. If you're not answering those type of punches back, you're not competing. That's a good combination.
Somewhere there's an avid Chavez lover who's saying, no, wait until the middle of round 11. That's when he gets going.
Well, they're not necessarily wrong about that, but you're seeing the difference here between a guy who, yes, he's been a good fighter, Chavez, but let's be honest, there was most of the interest was generated by his father's name. And then he became a good fighter on top of that. Canelo Alvarez created his own career as a 15-year-old fighting grown men in Mexico, becoming a YouTube sensation and packing places in Mexico before coming here and fighting all the top fighters and acquitting himself so well.
So Chavez has to attack him right back right there if he wants to have a chance to win the fight. If he doesn't do that, he has no chance because Canelo is sharp, Canelo is dialed in, Canelo is going up and down, Canelo is fighting a very good fight here.
A lot of people thought it was a mistake for Canelo Alvarez to take a fight with Floyd Mayweather when he was clearly too young and too inexperienced to deal with the great fighter. But as a piece of business, it turned out it gave him a big name here in the United States without his having fought a large number of fights here. It set him up to become what he is right now, the biggest monetary draw in boxing.
Very nice. Show that talent. Just like that. He's very slow now. You can see that too. You gotta flex your waist. Just the same thing, but don't stay on the ropes. Alright?
And this is what I mean by competing. He throws 1, 2, 3 punches in his combination. He's a take in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 punches to 3. That's just clearly Canelo out competing, outdoing his competition.
Round 7, good news for Chavez. His most busy round of the fight. He landed 9 out of 42 punches. Both of those numbers are his high for the fight so far. However, Canelo landed 18 of 57, and a lot of the 18 were those sharp, hard power shots like you saw in the replay.
Chavez had to reach for greatness tonight to compete with Canelo, and he hasn't done it, and maybe he hasn't been prepared in recent years given the way his career has gone to do it. He's going to need some late round thunder, like you mentioned, against Sergio Martinez to salvage anything here tonight, Jim. That's if he gets to the 11th or 12th round.
Might not have the good fortune of seeing Chavez tear his right knee up while falling to the canvas as Martinez did that night.
Here, now he's doing some good work, Chavez. And when Canelo inevitably counters, what will Chavez do? Back up and give him room or stay on his chest?
He needs to stay on his chest, but he's not doing that.
Too cautious. Chavez needs to sell out.
The most disappointing thing tonight about Chavez's performance is that lack of resolve to get on Canelo's chest and stay there. He seems resigned to take the beating.
He proclaimed that he wanted the fight. He expressed great desire. He got himself into what looked like his best condition ever. He made weight, shocking a lot of ring critics, including myself. We didn't think that he would do that. He brought the odds down by doing so, but he's getting ripped by a superior fighter with better skills.
And Canelo really teeing off right now. Good jab by Canelo after this.
Easy money and a lot coming so far for Canelo Alvarez.
Water. Hey, drink it. It's 9, eh, son? Don't want to knock him out. Don't jump in and try to knock him out. Don't worry about it. He's doing the fight very well. Good fight. Don't Julio. Don't you know this is the 9th round, Julio? You gotta work him some more, Julio. Water. You gotta work him more, Julio. gotta get in there, Julio. You're letting him build. He's prolonged what he wants all fight long. Come on, Julio. Get in there, brother.
Round 9 of the scheduled 12. And so far, virtually every round has looked identical as Canelo Alvarez has used his multiple skills, his combination punching, his general ring command. Of course, Julio Cesar Chavez to fight the way he wants to fight. And he has stood in the center of the ring and embarrassed him over and over and over with repeated combinations, swing shots, landing upstairs and downstairs as he's doing right now.
Chavez has something dramatic up his sleeve, where this fight will be seen as an object lesson on wishful thinking on the part of the public, on essentially a fighter being able to perpetrate a fraud on the public by not earning his way to the fight.
Here comes Chavez. Settle out. Got to throw caution to the wind now. Only 4 rounds to go.
The great Mexican rivals like Ruben Olivares and Kiko Castillo earned their way to the fight, the trilogy with each other. Raul Marquez and Vasquez earned their way to those spots. Canelo has earned his way here, and Chavez has largely traded on his name. And he needs to fight for his own name here, show us something in the last couple rounds.
Those were some of Chavez's best shots of the fight, and Canelo responded by answering back and driving him back into the center of the ring.
And you saw Canelo hit his own cup to say, as him to say, you want to throw low, throw low. He got to come anyway. He's fully confident at this point in the fight.
Uppercut is still there for Canelo whenever he wants to use it.
He's not
leads in.
He's not allowing Cesar Chavez to just sit there and pose right in front of him like other fighters do. See right there? Watch him throw uppercuts. Anytime he wants to make Cesar Chavez get out of there, he's doing uppercuts right in the middle. Now Chavez is not comfortable with that shot being hit to the nose.
And also, Chavez here is doing some good little work. But he's so easily discouraged in doing that.
Because he's getting hit with hard shots right down the middle, be it the uppercut or the jab. Like that.
Of course you're going to get hit. Then you got Canelo on the ropes. Canelo should have put him on the ropes so he can counter. You have to know that going into the fight.
People say speed is power. Accuracy is power too. Canelo learned that against Floyd Mayweather. And if you get hit over and over in the mouth or the nose, you don't have to be getting hit hard to get tired of it, to not want it anymore, to back away from it. And Canelo is using his superior accuracy to continue making the point to Chavez. I can hit you hard.
لا إلا وزاد ومضمون حياتهم والله مضمون حياتهم والله هسه شوف حد خلص الفايت شوف هذا
Julio, you gotta throw the punches. You gotta go in there. You gotta get in close. Get in close. Because it's distance. Is this in 12 rounds? Yes.
Here is a punch zone look at where the punches are landing through 9 rounds against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. 37 total body shots, 134 head punches. And you can see the 24 punches right on the point of the chin. Those are uppercuts. 78 punches on the left side of the head. Those are Canelo's brilliant right hand counters off or straight right hands off of the jab. And the 32 on the right side of the head with the left hook. And the left eye is closing gradually as Canelo continues to land those right hands. You get to round 10, Harold, 3/4 of the way through the fight. Any difference in your score?
No. I had it 90-81, 9 rounds to nothing, Canelo Alvarez. You know, Jim, at this point in time, in the 10th round, I honestly believe that they ought to let Canelo sit down in between rounds. And, you know, we're all human. I mean, the guy's got to be getting tired backing Chavez up for 9 rounds. You know, banging him, using his arms, using his legs. They definitely should let him sit down in that corner so at least he gets a minute rest in between rounds. But Canelo Alvarez doing everything he can do to win a fight. Jabs, hooks, combinations, 3-4 shots to the body. I mean, he's doing it all. 9-0, Canelo Alvarez.
Roy, don't you suspect it's the fighter's choice to stand up between rounds?
That's exactly who it is. I think it's all Canelo Alvarez proving the true point, that he's in shape, that he's ready for Triple G, and that he's definitely going to beat Chavez here tonight. So he's trying to give up all type of messages because he knows Triple G is sitting at ringside. So he's letting everybody know that he's in the best shape of his life and he's ready for whatever.
He's sparring in training camp, Roy. Yeah, he's very relaxed. It's easy work. When you're sparring in training camp, do you stand up between rounds?
Yes, you do. They don't put a stool in the ring. It takes up too much time.
I think he's showing Chavez that this is a sparring session for him.
Could be.
Oh, what an uppercut. I don't care how bad the opposition is. The precision with which Canelo does what he does is enormously impressive.
This Canelo Alvarez can give anybody on the planet a real problem.
Well, anybody on the planet is seated right over there on the far side, and his name is Gennadievich Golovkin.
And given Golovkin's struggles in his last fight and how Canelo looks in this fight, if that fight can be made this year, Canelo's fortunes, his prospects of winning will be considered by many to be much greater than they would have been, 6 months or a year ago.
100% correct. So much of the timing of the fight is going to turn out to be exactly right if in fact it takes place.
So much of boxing is perception and matchmaking. Triple G was just in with a really good fighter who's always been professional, and Danny Jacobs, strong, fast, great amateur background, determined to punch, and everything. And here Canelo's in with a guy who really didn't show up to try to win.
A look at Golovkin, who has been utterly poker-faced throughout the fight, as has his promoter Tom Loeffler in the striped shirt, and trainer Abel Sanchez. And there the poker face breaks as Gennady turns to the camera and gives us a smile and a little fist.
Come on, this is the island, Julio. Get down and let go, Julio. Take your hands off. That's your way. Slow punches. Water. Got
it. Through 10 rounds, Chavez is landing 6 of 26 per round. Again, in his previous 8 fights, he was averaging 16 out of 40. That was against a different level of opposition. This is Canelo Alvarez.
Not often we see the short guy come out and out-jab the tall guy. Tonight, the short guy's jab dominated the fight.
When I say Chavez hasn't shown up to win, he may have had some superficial game plan, but look what's happening. Is he thinking he's going to feint himself into position and maybe counter something from Canelo and start to pile up points? That's not ever going to happen. His only chance is to go for broke, and he's unwilling to do it.
With his experience level, Max, I feel like he came in with a trainer who he thought had a perfect plan. Once he got in there and realized that the trainer's plan didn't work, he doesn't know anything else to turn to.
How in the world could they have come up with that plan?
We all want to know that.
20,510 spectators here. Some of them now booing, and no doubt they are booing Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. for what they will see as a less than exemplary effort from a Mexican star fighter.
At this point, he can take pride in making the weight and going the distance.
That was a good body shot by Canelo.
long ago turned the fight into a rout. Only question in recent rounds has been, would Canelo pile up enough punishment that Kenny Bayless would elect to stop the fight? Or that the corner would say, hey, look, there's really no point. But of course, this is Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. These are the two great Mexican fighters. He's almost honor-bound to finish the fight.
These are the one great Mexican fighter.
Yeah. Exactly. And now the crowd chants Canelo. Canelo. And at this moment, there may be some who came here as Chavez fans who are chanting Canelo. Canelo. And now the boos begin again.
But Chavez fans, you know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me 15 times, shame on me.
Oh, good body shot.
Fucking quick right to the body. Brutal punishment. Closing seconds of round number 11. Issue utterly beyond doubt. 1 round to go.
Canelo knocked the dust out of him. Canelo knocked the dust out of him.
You gotta win this one and that's it. Don't get crazy. Careful. He hasn't hit you on the fight. Attack him. Push him back. Flex your waist. You're doing good. Good job. Flex that waist. Flex that waist. Go!
Mucho bueno.
Begin round 12. If you see anything different at this stage,
I don't see how we could.
impossible. Unless Canelo goes to sleep from boredom.
Chavez would have to get lucky, and as Sugar Ray Leonard used to like to say, no such thing as luck in a boxing ring.
Never once during this fight did Canelo Alvarez sit down on his stool between rounds. He made a visible display of standing through every between rounds period. There's the uppercut again.
That uppercut has been devastating all night long.
Full right hand for Chavez. Left hook easily blocked. Has not landed as many as 10 punches in any round in the fight so far. And in most rounds, Canelo could have named the numbers as to how many punches he wanted to land. Fighting at his usual measured pace. Fighting with his usual immaculate precision. Utterly dominating his opponent.
He made Chavez keep his hands at home for defense.
In boxing, skills pay the bills. Craft is king. And those people who understood this fight from the beginning and were serious about it have been on the same train all the way. There's no way Chavez can beat Canelo given the difference in the level of skill.
And you get out what you put in. You know, Andre Ward, Vasyl Lomachenko, Gennady Golovkin, Canelo Alvarez. You talk about the top of the sport. These guys are all extremely serious competitive athletes who respect themselves and respect the sport and give themselves the best chance to be great. And that is not what Chavez Jr. has done.
With no nonsense between fights, no headlines for things that take place outside the ring. That generally is what defines the top guys who Max Kellerman just named.
Kovalev, Chocolatito.
Chavez Jr. has been exactly the opposite. So at the end of the day, after years of discussion about these two big Mexican names, after the final fulfillment of some thought would never happen, getting them into the ring together, it became an exhibition. An exhibition of all the skills that Canelo Alvarez took.
Muchas gracias. Te amo, muchas gracias, muchas gracias.
You couldn't tell that to the nation of Mexico, which craved it, got it, and now can talk about it for 48 hours before the Canelo fans go on and celebrate. Second fight between Oscar De La Hoya and Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. when De La Hoya was able to dominate and embarrass Chavez Sr. and finally won over a certain percentage of Mexican fans who had resisted Oscar all those years. There aren't that many Mexican fans who resist Canelo, but those who have been ardently forever in the emotional Chavez camp have to now admit reality about what the difference was between the two.
Yes, they do. And they won't have to see this again because he's totally dominated it and shut it down.
The notion of a rematch would be absurd. And the two fighters with a word for each other. Canelo Alvarez, respectful Renato Barristine. Mexican trainer with a great reputation who appeared to have constructed exactly the wrong fight plan for Chavez Jr. tonight. Well, the final scores have a ring of authenticity and let's go to Michael Buffer for the official
gentlemen, all three judges have the same score, 120 to 108. All to the winner by unanimous decision. De Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico,
Chavez Jr. trying to explain to his father what was going on in there. Chavez Sr. with a blank expression. Now let's take a look at the final CompuBox numbers of the fight. Canelo Alvarez landing 157 more punches than Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., landing more punches in every round, landing at a 38% connect percentage, which is high, doubling the number of punches that Chavez threw, tripling the number of punches that Chavez landed. How many more ways can we say it? It's a one-sided wipeout. Power punches, nearly tripling Chavez Jr. in terms of the number of power punches thrown, nearly doubling the number that he threw, and landing at a 43% connect percentage, which is going to win you most fights against any opposition. Jabs. Landing 6 times as many jabs as Chavez. Throwing more than twice as many. Landing at an extremely high percentage of 31%. Most people will never land 31% of their jabs in a fight. But Canelo found it easy to do so against Chavez Jr. And now let's go to Max Kellerman first with the loser, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
Julio, you lost every round, you went the distance, but took a beating tonight. What happened?
Bueno, Me ganó en la distancia, en la velocidad. Estaba amarrado un poquito fuera de distancia y Canelo es un buen peleador, estaba muy activo.
You know, he beat me at distance. You know, I wasn't feeling at distance, and he's a very active fighter. He's a good fighter. Beat me.
Coming into the fight, everyone figured that you would try to use your size on the inside with Canelo, that you would crowd him, lean on him, brawl with him, which is your style. And we heard coming into the fight you would maybe box from a distance early.
Lo que pasa es que yo quería boxearlo, fue cuando él se fue a las cuerdas. Lo que pasa es que me faltó tirar más golpes.
You know, I wanted to box, but then he went to the ropes, and I just needed to throw more punches.
Así él era más vulnerable, si yo lo hubiera atacado, me hubiera contragolpeado más. Intenté hacer una pelea que Nacho me dijo, pero no estaba muy acostumbrado a hacer ese estilo.
You know, if I would attack more, I would have been open for counter punches. And Nacho Pakistan wanted me to do it in this style, but it's not my style. It didn't work for me.
So you think it was a mistake, the strategy?
No, yo creo que faltó tiempo, ¿no? Vengo de pocas peleas, se me faltó un poco más la distancia y la velocidad.
You know, I think I haven't had too many fights, and I needed more distance and more speed.
Fue la clave en la velocidad y la distancia.
That was the key, the speed and the distance.
Of course, pulling him to the ropes, where you usually do your best work, would leave you open to counters. That's what he does. That's why everyone thought this would be such a great fight. And yet when he countered you against the ropes, you seemed easily discouraged and backed up and gave him room. Why did you do that rather than keep him right on the ropes?
No sentí toda mi fortaleza con el peso, me sentí un poco débil, no pude tirarle todos los golpes que hubiera querido.
You know, I feel kind of dwindled. I didn't feel my power. I didn't feel like I threw all the punches that I wanted to. I just couldn't.
Y es un buen peleador rápido que
fast and he's very consistent.
Julio, what was your father yelling at you in between rounds later in the fight? Did you hear him?
Que me soltara, que tirara más golpes porque es lo que me faltó.
To let go, to throw more punches because it's what I needed.
Julio, thanks for talking to us after a tough loss. Jim?
Boy, he has never shown enormous passion for his boxing career. He's had 3 layoffs of more than a year within the last 5 years. He's just been mercilessly booed by Mexican fans whose inner urge is to honor his family name. I got a hunch we're not going to see him again. What do you think?
I have that same hunch, Jim. It's going to be very hard for him to bounce back from such a defeat. Not only because of the way he lost it, but this was a country-to-country battle. It's like I tell people, there are some people in the world who won't fight nobody else outside of their house, but they will fight their own brother because they know him. When you fight your own countryman, and that can't get you up and going, I don't know if much else can.
Max Kellerman now with the winner, Canelo Alvarez.
Congratulations, Canelo, on a totally dominant performance. Before the fight, you told me that you didn't feel any special animosity towards Julio, even though he said that you hadn't represented Mexican boxing as well as you could have. Now that the fight's over, can you tell us, did you? It seemed like you had some extra animosity, did you?
Así es, yo creo que la rivalidad que existía entre él y yo fue una inspiración para mí, para mostrarle a la gente que no nomás sé noquear, sino también sé boxear, sé moverme, sé pegar, sé hacer todo. Con un peleador más grande, más fuerte, hice lo que tenía que hacer para ganar.
Yes, it was an additional inspiration, but I showed that I can move, I can box, I can do everything against a fighter who was bigger, who was stronger. I can do all of those things.
Canelo, before the fight, you also seemed excited by the idea of being in a great Mexican, all-Mexican showdown. But throughout history, those fights have always taken place between 2 great Mexican fighters. You needed a dance partner tonight. It seemed easy for you. Are you at all disappointed that Chavez didn't give you more of a fight so you could have created a more memorable night for Mexican boxing?
No, realmente yo pensé que iba a salir a intercambiar golpes. Se movió mucho, no tiró casi. Cuando yo me quedaba en las cuerdas para intercambiar golpes, pero no entraba mucho. Yo quería darle al público una gran pelea, pero creo que a lo que pude les di una gran pelea y es lo único que me interesa.
It's very amazing when I thought he was going to fight. We're bringing him into the ring. I thought he was throwing punches so that I could showcase myself, but he wouldn't do it. He just wouldn't throw punches. But I wanted to give the Mexican public a great fight.
Mostré otras cosas que puedo hacer arriba del cuadrilátero y puedo hacer muchas más. Siempre he dicho que lo que el rival me dé la pauta para hacer, lo voy a hacer para ganar.
I've shown that I can do lots of things in the ring, and I said I can do lots of things in the ring. I demonstrated tonight, whatever the fighter brings me, I can showcase myself.
The other thing you did was stand up in between rounds throughout the entire fight. Why did you do that?
No sé, quise experimentar algo nuevo. Siempre que hago sparring no me siento y me siento bien. Quise experimentar algo nuevo y realmente creo que me sentí mejor no sentándome. Yo sí le dije a mi esquina que no me iba a sentar hasta que fuera necesario, y no fue necesario toda la pelea.
You know, I wanted to try something new. I never sit down during sparring, and it's not necessary there, and I felt it wasn't necessary here. And I told my corner I wouldn't sit down until it was absolutely necessary.
I'm just told, that there is a plan in place for your next opponent. Who is it?
Oloki, you are next, my friend. Where are you?
Where are you? Yeah, he said, "What are you?" He said, "What are you?" Oh no! He's right here! He's right here!
سهلة وسهلة تريد خلاص سهلة الكارتة بقى
What are you? Say, oh!
يغسل والله يغسل والله يغسل يغسل
Boy, you know what are you? It's done.
So, am I to understand that the deal is done, that there will be a fight between you two in September of this year?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's done.
Gennady, you've been waiting for a long time for this moment or for that moment. What do you feel now?
I feel very excited. Guys, right now it's a different story. I think in September it's big Mexican style, you know, big drama show. We're ready.
Are you saying that that will be the big Mexican showdown that we were hoping to get tonight?
Tonight, you know, first of all, congrats to Canelo, the Canelo team, he looks good. I think right now, everybody excited for us, for fight for us.
Canelo, what about you? For so long now, you've been criticized for not fighting Triple G as though you would duck a fighter when you were telling everyone all along, your promoter said this is the way the business needs to get done. Now that you're going to fight Triple G, what would you like to say to your fans?
Yo nunca le he tenido miedo a nadie desde los 15 años que peleó profesional.
I've never feared anyone since I was 16 and I've been fighting as a professional.
Cuando nací yo ya se había repartido el miedo.
When I was born, fear was gone. I never got my share of fear.
You have had an excellent career so far, but the thought is to beat Triple G, you will have to have the real greatness come out in you in a way that it hasn't yet. How do you feel about that?
Yo me siento muy bien, me siento muy contento. Pelea con pelea voy avanzando y estoy seguro que cuando llegue la pelea de Golovkin voy a mostrar muchas más cosas. Siempre el rival da pauta para dar grandes peleas y creo que vamos a dar una gran pelea él y yo.
I'm very happy, and little by little I'm growing. And again, I said before, the rival, the opponent is going to give me the tools to showcase myself, and that's what's going to happen.
Canelo looked very impressive tonight, Gennady. What did you think about his performance?
It's very nice performance. Congratulations to his team. Yeah, he looks good. Right now it's new story. Fight for us.
Is Canelo the biggest challenge of your professional career?
100%, yes.
He is the best opponent you will face.
He is, yeah, of course.
Is he the greatest challenge of your professional career, Canelo?
Es lo que se espera para septiembre, el reto más grande.
That's what we expect for September.
He tenido grandes peleas difíciles. Él es un peleador duro y creo que va a ser una gran pelea. Una pelea dura para el público que ha querido ver esta pelea también.
I've had difficult fights, tough fights, and that is going to be no doubt a tough fight. And this one was supposed to be a tough fight as well.
Por eso lo vuelvo a repetir. La era del Canelo es la mejor porque peleó con los mejores.
But I always say Canelo era is the best because I fought the best.
We will undoubtedly do a face-off between now and when the fight occurs. But for now, Triple G, is there anything you'd like to tell Canelo?
Good luck in September.
Canelo, anything you'd like to tell Triple G?
La suerte es para los mediocres, my friend.
Luck is for the mediocre people.
I don't know what I'm doing with it.
Well, apparently Christmas is going to come really early this year, folks. Jim?
So September, start saving.
It's been the biggest story in boxing for the last couple of years. The ongoing conversation and constant speculation as to whether the two of them would get together. And Roy Jones, all's well that ends well. Here we go.
Here we go. I mean, this has been one hell of a year that is constantly getting better by the day. I love it.
All right. These two dynamic power punchers, both of them with tremendous records, getting ready to go into the ring against each other in September, fighting at the 160-pound weight limit, 4 pounds below where Canelo weighed in for this fight, for the first time that he'll be weighing in to fight a full middleweight as a full middleweight. I'm very excited.
I'm very excited too. I was very excited and loved the way that he carried the weight tonight, and I am even more excited to see how he carries it at 160 in September.
All right, turning on Max Kellerman. Okay, so you stood between the two great men as they get ready to face each other in September. It wasn't a face-off. Do you have any early evaluation as to what the dynamic is between them, how they feel about each other as they get ready to fight?
Two tremendous fighters, both want to be great and leave a legacy, and both extremely confident, which is why they're going to fight each other in September. Look, I think what tonight demonstrates, once again, is you can't wish a big fight into existence. Not a really big fight, not a great fight or great rivalry. You can't promote it into existence. These guys have to actually fight their way there. A super fight is when the dust settles, who's left standing in the winner's circle. That's what we have with Triple G and Canelo, at least as far as the 160-pound division is concerned. Canelo versus Chavez Jr., that's wishful thinking. Is there a way to make a big fight on the way to a Triple G fight with Canelo against a fighter who can sell pay-per-views, and how do we make people believe that that fighter has a chance to win? Well, if it's Chavez Jr., he has the name, he still has his adherents because they want to wish that he will be a great fighter like his father was, and he's been good, and maybe he could even be better than that, but since he's not good enough, maybe since he's so big, it will somehow balance the fight against Canelo and we'll get some competition. You can't wish it into existence. But Triple G and Canelo, that is the authentic thing. That is a bona fide super fight at middleweight. And Jim, it will establish once and for all who the middleweight champion of this era actually is.
It's the fight most wanted by boxing fans, and now we know it will take place. And once again, I'll say it, all's well that ends well. We suffered through 12 one-sided rounds of a monumentally disappointing fight between Canelo Alvarez and Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., particularly disappointing in light of what took place 1 week ago in London, a tremendous high moment for boxing with the most exciting heavyweight championship fight in years. This one did not match its billing, it fizzled. But you've got Ward Kovalev rematch coming back.